live now. We're supposed to be. Do we have to begin by saying? I mean, we did a rescue mission with James to
Absolutely.
save you from.
I think that is the very important part of this narrative today.
Because I sense a lot of comeback and callback in that that thing.
I don't come to Paris often.
Oh, so from Villejuif to Paris, you're totally lost. So you were in another building because the building here just resembles each other.
No, I do have a very logical brain. I got to 138 and I thought I've gone too far. Oh, sorry, I've given you away your address.
Oh no,
for all your stalkers. So I thought I'll go back 2 doors, and there was no number above it. Paris. So I thought this must be the right one.
Yeah,
and
of course.
just a guy just happened to be coming out with his bike. I thought, oh, good timing. I don't have to punch in the code.
Of course.
If I had done that, I'd have realised it didn't work.
Obviously.
So I go in and I hold the door so that he can go out. Very nice and very polite. And then I try to find you, and you don't exist. So I get stuck. So I thought, well, I'll go out again. I mean, I look at all the letterboxes, can't find your name. So I I push the door button where it says "Porte."
Yes.
Nothing.
To get out again.
To get out of the building, because there were 2 doors, but one had codes and things and no names.
Yeah,
nothing.
we like SAS, I think, here in Paris.
And luckily it had oxygen in this SAS, and it wouldn't budge. The door wouldn't open, so I was stuck between 2 doors. Wow.
But without intercom, right?
With no intercom, no people,
that is
nothing.
weird. That's the thing I don't understand. What's the point of having this if you cannot even control who can come in, right? Because you just need to have 2 codes.
Code. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same as the first one.
Yeah, but then if you live in that building, you never know when people are just going to ring at your door.
No, because they can't ring. I think they just do a second code. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean your actual door.
So anybody that actually slips into that building could go where they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possibly the most elaborate excuse to be tardy I've ever heard.
Yeah, but we actually witnessed a witness to that thing.
Look, I don't know how often she comes to this neighborhood. How
right.
ins and outs, everything here.
Do you think Els just hired someone to get stuck with?
Get some bike leaving? Like,
yeah,
okay.
That's weird.
You fit a bike through that door.
Right. You could have just said, I'm going to be 10 minutes late.
If I'd been stuck with some sexy guy, it would have been okay. But I was stuck on my own, and so. But you have to get into logical. What shall I do? Type.
But I have to say, James, you were just the best at just take a video of the door so we can recognize it from the outside.
As there was no number.
I love it, and we actually did, thanks to that. And when we opened, so there was
So in the meantime, I decided to do. You told me to do some Spanish-style hammering, so I did some hammering because there was a glass door, so I could see that there was nobody around. I could see there was one door, but I didn't know how many apartments. So I started hammering like crazy, and I was really impressed with the noise that I made, actually, I have to say.
As a British.
And eventually this girl came down the stairs. I think she was just going out anyway. I don't think she was responding to my hammering, and she was going, "Oh, you want to go out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm stuck." And she said, "Oh, yeah, there's been a problem with the door." And I said, "So you can't get either?" She's going, "No, I got stuck in here." And she didn't seem at all totally phased, the girl.
That's
I said, "Is there another way
weird.
out?"
She's like, she lives here, but she can leave her house, and she was really cool about it. She was like, "Oh, punch in the door, the code. It's 1960." And okay, so you actually do need to do that to anyone on the street every time you get out of your house. Okay, great.
Yeah.
She did seem extremely cool about it. Maybe she didn't actually need to go out for the rest of the weekend. Maybe she was one of these people that hasn't been out. She's been in front of a computer, was trying it for the first time. I thought, this is God's sign.
Or you hired her as an actor for this whole play.
Yeah, absolutely. Because for my career, that was fantastic.
The thing is, I wouldn't like those kind of SAS without the intercom, because already ringing at my bell at the door is like some kind of invasion of privacy for me. So I need to know who's downstairs first. Like a benevolent king lets you in or not. And then after we'll talk. But feel the same way, James?
It's true about like even phone calls too. You get a phone call from an unknown number.
Right.
It's not comfortable.
Forget
it.
It's not comfortable. But
text me first that you're going to call me.
Yeah, heads up that we're gonna have to speak.
But then you still have to look casual, like you've just got up when you open the door.
Yeah,
oh,
of
hi.
course. Yeah,
Like
right.
you're surprised.
And there's just the name. You punched in the number and and you're like, oh hi, yeah. Oh hi, James. So what are you up to these days?
Well, I'm not coming to Paris again, that's for sure.
Why is it an open
Scary.
door policy now in Villejuif or I don't know
No, I
where?
live in Les-les-Roses, and I live next to a park, so like I've got everything I need basically. That's because that's all we're allowed to do, isn't it? Oh, I live near Parc de Sceaux as well,
Okay.
so everybody's flocking to Parc de Sceaux to see the cherry blossoms. Well, they were.
Oh right.
Okay.
But don't you feel a little bit cheated of that because it's like it's your park
Yeah.
and now everyone
Fuck
is
out,
coming here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Although they can look at all the photos on Facebook instead, can't they, and not bother coming. Instagram.
Can you imagine if we were like now everything should be digital and you're like, no, it's okay. I'm just going to take a vacation on Google Image and it's going to be okay.
It's like the virtual visits of museums, isn't it, and things like that.
But my life didn't really change a lot because as a dentist, I still go to the office, so I see people, etc. So I haven't had like a complete cut off the social things or
Plus
whatever.
you also are pretty masked up already, aren't you, dentist?
Yes.
Have you added an extra layer or two? or
We
not?
changed the quality of the masks, so they're like better. But it's like if we had to wear the same things, the same super things, even after the pandemic or whatever, it would be okay. It would actually be good hygiene anyway. But you told me, James, you have worked from home for a year.
Yeah. No, I find myself asking a lot of questions that I wouldn't have asked prior. For example, is a glass of wine heavier than a glass of water?
Well, no.
Probably, yes.
Right. But like when I measured
Yeah.
a scale, I have like a scale thing.
You used
It's
your
not
drugs.
accurate enough.
Yes, of course. You'd
To
have
show.
to have like a
But
really...
you would imagine, like wine has water in it, right?
Yes,
But
but
it's got other
also,
stuff.
yeah, so it's
Wouldn't it
denser.
Wouldn't it be more dense, more heavy?
Yeah.
If it's got all that grit at the bottom.
Yeah, that would, the sediment.
So basically you change your apartment into a lab.
No, just so, or like...
You're measuring some more interesting
I don't know,
things.
I'm thinking like how many teeth are in my mouth?
Mm.
Okay, this you can kind of answer easily if you can...
You're in the
kind
right place. for that one.
And do I have the right amount?
Did
Are they
you
in the right places?
did you put all those questions in the notebook somewhere and try to answer them?
It's just like, I'm just trying to stay sane.
I have a really good book that answers a lot of questions like that. I don't know if those ones are particularly in it.
Right.
I think the teeth one you can find pretty easily.
Yes.
I think is it
But it's,
32?
Yes, usually, but you never know. You don't know
I've
his
got wisdom
history.
teeth. Have you got wisdom teeth?
I've had all of them removed, and I had supernumerals as well,
Oh,
the extra teeth.
and
that
they
when you're
they
super
removed them
intelligent?
also?
They did,
Okay.
and they charged me for them also. And
Yes,
we
of
didn't
course.
know we had them. So it's like, here's 4 teeth, and here's this little thing, and
That's
here's
the
the bill.
States, isn't it? Yeah.
No, that's how it is.
And because they're wisdom teeth, do they have like intelligence in them if you keep them? And if you find a way of translating, like a clear USB, like a memory stick,
Right.
you put it into your
Well,
computer.
That
They
would
do
be
have
something.
DNA, so they have data actually.
Yeah,
So
but there must be special data in the wisdom teeth. See, I've got mine, so I'm fine.
Okay,
okay.
Like you can see that the intelligence is just like
got 'em.
seeping through.
Got 'em.
I think you don't have the. I mean, it's going to be a scientific podcast then.
Because we
You have less room for the wisdom teeth when usually people don't kind of live in the environment their DNA has set them up to. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
got a horse mouth. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Because I'm British and I come from the royal
No,
family.
it's like
I've got
you've
mouths like
you've been eating and you've been living exactly where and how you're supposed to live according to your DNA. But with I don't know, like industrial sugar or whatever, and some people do not have the right development according to.
It's like the appendix, isn't it?
I don't know the history of the appendix.
It's the same
Did you
thing.
get your appendix removed?
Of course.
Of course.
You got it out? All right.
Yeah, when I was 14.
Wow.
I had appendicitis, but I'd been for a midnight picnic with my friend. I was 14. And so I got home and so I said, oh, I feel a bit sick. And so my mum was going,
Yeah,
you
you
feel
shouldn't
sick.
stay down late. That's right.
And
Yeah.
so it like got to about, 5 o'clock and I was like, I'm dying. This is not because of the picnic.
Oh my goodness.
Then they took me to hospital just before it burst.
Okay.
Drama. I like drama.
I hear astronauts have to have them removed in case they,
Yeah,
so
that's
that
true.
they don't
Did you
do
know
that.
now, prior?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's still done right now.
I
Can't
think
help
think that's for to lighten the load when they have to.
Yeah, right. We have
Any-
taken
like,
the weights.
Anything they can get rid of.
So they take
Yeah,
their
right.
wisdom teeth out
Wisdom
too. Then.
teeth are out.
Yeah.
Appendix.
The
The
shape
hair.
of hair, right?
Extra kidney.
Do they chop
Donate.
anything off then?
Can you? I have an astronaut kidney.
Just one kidney.
To that, yeah. There's a doc I cannot watch on Netflix. It's about the Challenger space ship, whatever,
Yes.
that blew up in 1986.
January 28th.
Yeah,
That's correct.
and
That's disgusting.
and it's like I cannot because I've just seen the trailer, and it's like I'm already bummed by this.
Yeah,
It's like.
definitely ending.
Oh, the first time that a teacher, like a normal teacher, was going to be an astronaut, and she was trained with the other astronauts, etc. And they die. Now, I mean, I have the whole story
Right.
already,
Yeah,
right?
so you don't
In
need to
those
watch
two
it.
lines, I don't need to like get attached to someone who I know is going to die
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
I mean, except if the doc was ending by and actually they're all alive now, or
Yeah.
like
I
the
just-
moonwalk.
I just think of like the class of kids that like have to follow that whole narrative. And like, all right, today's launch day, kids. Let's all watch together in the class. And then
horrible.
horror, and then
Mrs.
forever,
Jones.
Yeah.
and
Was
then
she
you
that type
become
of
who?
teacher?
Elon Musk. That's who you become. Elon Musk. You're like, I'm gonna be able to put anyone on Mars.
Yeah, but take profit from that. That's the
That's
thing.
a cynical way to look at it.
Yeah, because back with the Challenger, it was like, you know what? We can put anyone in space, but it's NASA. It's all of us together, and then they fail, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna stop doing whatever we're doing in space. We're just going to launch satellites, have GPS,
We'll
and
send
that's
dogs
yeah.
while we're waiting.
right. That's it.
Oh man.
Just gonna weigh wine and water in space. And that's it.
See, there's so many other questions that you didn't think about. aren't there?
No,
Yeah,
it's just,
right.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of documentaries I wouldn't want to watch. I mean, there's also films like that one about the guy who chops his arm off.
Yes,
I
127
wanna watch
hours.
that.
Yeah, right. It's
the
basically the
nightmares
same
about
thing.
it.
I mean, you know what's happening. So if you tell me, oh, the guy gets stuck, he removes his arm, and then he
fine.
saves himself to tell a story. Okay, I have
don't
it.
need to watch that,
Yeah. Do
yeah.
I need to like see the whole hesitation? And I mean, yeah, probably.
Well, if you're in a particularly perverted mood, perhaps.
Yeah, right. Because it's not like there's a love story between the boulder and him, or whatever. It's not Titanic.
Is
What?
it a long film? It's a 2-minute
Can you
film.
imagine? It was actually a breakup. He was like masturbating against the boulder, and like, you don't love me anymore.
That'd be like me down in that sass. I would cut. I
Exactly.
don't know why I cut off, but
Right.
and bang my head against the letterboxes or something.
Are you watching a lot of movies or docs or whatever these days?
Movies. What's the last movie I saw? I get a subscription to the Criterion Collection,
Oh, nice.
so I watch older films and things like that. Not on a regular basis. I think I watch more Netflix. Like,
Yeah, like normal
specials
being.
in some TV shows.
Oh, so you still watch stand up?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I've forgotten stand up a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
I-
I don't find it funny anymore.
Not watching, like, not even old stuff, or
No.
I think the last thing I watched
rewatching.
was James Acaster, which was
Oh wait, yeah,
excellent.
right.
I really enjoyed that. But I'm very, very picky. I don't find things funny when I'm watching online. So
Oh, really? Okay. You,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah, and especially French stuff. Sorry,
Why?
France. Which I do find funny often when I'm there.
Yeah,
I think
right.
it's just, or maybe I made the wrong selection.
I don't watch any French stand-up comedy.
So your French hasn't improved since
Because
you've
you have
been on
good.
lockdown.
Because you have good taste then.
Doesn't want to be
No,
influenced.
just because, to be honest, I'm kind of ignorant of the scene, and I don't know. And also, like, I'm watching through subtitles, so a lot of it kind of gets
yeah.
lost. even if I get some of it, there's so much slang that I
Yeah.
would definitely miss as well. So
Yeah.
So
But,
you don't feel a necessity to imbibe yourself with the culture being in France?
oh no, I do, but just the fact that I can't watch
Just stand up.
stand up is something. Watching a French film or something like that, and keeping the subtitles, but trying to focus on what they're
It's
saying.
like there's not much happening anyway in a French film generally.
Oh come on, now, unbelievable! Not every
Okay,
film can be
what's
made by Mike Lee or somebody like that.
What was the last French film you watched then?
The last French film I watched was Cleo 9 to 5, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Old film.
Yeah. So was it part of the Criterion Collection? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
These, I mean, and it sounds. I feel like it sounds.
It's very American to watch the new wave films or whatever.
I'm not gonna watch that movie. Was
it
it
black
Day
and
Frites?
white?
Day Frites. What's that?
I don't know actually.
You know what I'm talking about?
Les Bronzés or something?
Yeah, they're like
Oh,
these
right,
like
right.
people that are like screaming about French fries and stuff. Like that's something interesting. In the U.S., we think French film is quite sophisticated, but
Yeah,
when
of
you
course.
come to France, it's actually just the most popular films are comedies
Yeah, of course.
and
They don't-
not dramatic or intellectual.
I mean, they don't win César or whatever, but yeah, obviously the most tickets are sold for the comedies or whatever,
Which are
the
very
dumb stuff.
cultural and don't translate, you know.
Right,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't get to the States. It's all
But-
Amélie Poulain.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the States, we have the same, but people still watch like the Oscar-winning films. Like, see what I mean? Like, I feel like I was just deceived thinking that the French tastes were just as nuanced or sophisticated in a way.
Oh. I mean,
Yes.
they do
I'm sure they
watch
are.
still the movies that win the Caesar. No, you don't think?
Are they
I cannot.
blockbuster films? You know what I mean? Like,
No, like
what-
auteur films or whatever. They still. I mean, there are. I'm not going to say a lot of people, but there are some people in France who watches them.
Yeah,
no?
and they
You
put
don't
them
think?
on in the cinema, so you can
Right, okay.
watch them.
Okay.
You know, once they've won, they get shown.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I did fall asleep to one of them. That was the one, The Tree of Life, but that was American.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sounds magic. Yeah, right. I mean, it's a good film to fall asleep in front of.
Mm.
It's like it's a whole journey.
Is it just wake me up
And-
when Brad Pitt comes back? Because he disappeared at the beginning, didn't he? He was there,
Yes.
then he went.
But it's not really. I mean, it's like a doc, by the way. It's like just no. You know what? It's like a screensaver a little bit.
okay,
Tree of
Yeah,
life.
okay.
You know?
yeah.
It's like, you know what? Here's life
Yeah, let's go.
on Earth and consciousness of people or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay.
Like Koyaanistas, whatever it's called. Did you know that
What?
film?
Yeah, Koyaanisqatsi.
Yeah, you know
Oh.
it?
Yeah, it's
Did you
just
ever
like-
watch that?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I'm not a big fan. It's just
Yeah.
it's just time lapses, and it's about
It's hours long, isn't it?
it's hours long. It's anti a lot of things, and you feel
It's like
kinda
the
drained.
zapping on the New Year's Eve, you know, it's just like lots of images.
That's fun too. I mean, that's an editor's movie, right? It's just like, how is the director? He's just like, okay, so I've shot this and this. Just
Yeah, it's
Put
just
them
banging
together.
images together.
Right.
But that's what it looks like.
Right, right.
I haven't watched it for a long time.
what would be the movie that you would direct? Like right now, I'm just giving you 20 million
Yeah,
euros.
yeah.
Okay, so that's like $25,000 million dollars.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Can I-
obviously in the US you direct it here, so you have more power because in the US 20 million you just have like one camera, I guess.
Depends. Yeah, I mean, depends. I guess production value and all that. I mean, if you were to say, hey, here's 20 million euros to make a film in France,
Okay, first you take 10 millions, you put
Buy a house
I guess you
with a
could.
pool.
I don't know. During COVID or not during COVID?
just
Doesn't matter.
what's James's movie? What do you want to tell us through a movie? That's a deep question, right?
Ooh.
I think it'd be. It's funny because I'm always thinking about stuff like that. I'm
Oh,
always
yeah?
Thinking, yeah. 'cause
Yeah, that's probably
That's
one
why
of your
he-
questions,
yeah,
right?
like I guess I think it would have to be a comedy because in the past I've always been more interested in like social dramas. Like one of my favorite filmmakers of all time is French.
Yeah.
Her name's Claire Denis,
Ouais.
and she makes some of the best social dramas I think ever.
Okay.
And I used to be like, oh, that's the kind of shit I want to do, or like I want to do like what John Cassavetes used to do in the 70s. where he would make these really hard-hitting social dramas.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, when you just put a mirror to people's faces and show them real life, it's kind of like, I don't need to see this, even if it's an interesting take. So I would want to do that, but in like a comical way.
Absurd.
Yeah, maybe not so absurd, but just
it up.
more like just more optimistic and more just kind of funny.
Yeah. Who would that be? Like, it's not. Is there someone who does this? I don't know. Probably like those Little Miss Sunshine or whatever. You know.
I think
what I'm
Jacques Tati does that.
Mm.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so
You look at like Traffic.
we get it. You have your
You know
Criterion
what I'm saying?
collection.
Like, so what else can I tell
You
you?
were born at the wrong time, James.
No, I'm looking at the Robert Capa book up here. I'm thinking, this,
I'm
I thought we're.
I have
I
to
think,
drop some other names that Michael Bay. Okay? What about you, Els? What's the movie?
Me?
What's
Who, me? I don't know. I like things that flash back into, like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind type things, the brain fucks,
Oh.
ones that you're like, ooh.
But also comic. I mean, a comedy.
Yeah, there would be some comedy in there, but like dark. If I'm doing comedy, it would be a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Maybe James and I would have something similar. to
Yeah,
write about.
we could do it. Co-direction.
Co-direction,
Mm.
or just two movies, but within the same universe a little bit.
I was getting a little bit of like, you think I'm anti-French vibe when you kind of said, oh, you don't want to immerse yourself in the culture or whatever, and I just like to put this out
Just
there.
take this.
Okay. Not a lot of people know, and I'm gonna go on the record with this. Okay. I joined a Pétanque club recently.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
A bâton club.
Pétanque.
yeah, because he has it often in his stories, just like balls rolling.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Pétanque?
No, not at all.
You don't know Pétanque.
Oh, pétanque. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's pronounced Pétanque.
So
mean
you
pétanque?
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so pétanque is allowed now, right now.
It is unofficially allowed.
As long as you don't spit in people's faces.
So do you do like some clandestine pétanque?
It's
You have masks and gloves, so you don't have fingerprints on the balls.
yeah, exactly. Because they go around the fingerprinting all the bulls. It's true. No, but that's been an interesting kind of thing I got into during COVID, I think,
Okay.
because it was sort of a solo activity, and then I was like, you know what, I should just join the club. And now I'm like only dealing with people and have relationships with people in French.
And then
Okay, so
Only in French.
are you the American of the group? So you're
I
like
am
Definitely the youngest of the group.
Oh, yeah, right.
An American, one of two actually. There's another
Oh.
one, and there's another guy from
It's an expat group.
Australia, but the majority of them are French and French, Tunisian. There's some people from Morocco.
How many
it's quite
people
mixed.
are in this club?
Oh, probably like 70.
It's all men.
No, there's
Okay.
a few women. It's majority men for sure.
Yeah, because they're a
But
bit
there's
heavy,
more.
those balls.
There's
aren't
more
they?
American than women.
No, there's well, I know what you mean. No,
More
there's
foreigners
different-
than
Yeah, right.
But it's actually quite cool because it's like a totally interesting way to immerse yourself in this city.
Because you changed the places where you play pétanque. Or
No,
you do?
it's just
Oh,
down
it's
the
just
road.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you meet these people, and of course there's this like way of socializing in France, which is
Yes.
specific. But then
You mean through pastis and through
no,
Ricard?
like okay, can we cut the stereotypes for a moment? Honestly, the
I
ignorance,
would love that.
the ignorance here is
Right.
outrageous.
No, we don't drink alcohol, right? We drink Red
We
Bull.
drink Gatorade because we're getting in the game.
I love it that they're like so serious about pétanque. They're like
This is America.
doing lifts.
Dude, absolutely, dude. It's like, look, it's like when foreigners move to the U.S. and they want to become American, they like
Yeah.
get guns, they vote Republican,
Yes.
they become like super American.
Yes, you
I'm doing that
you're
here.
becoming super French.
I'm like investing in wine, investing in
yeah.
pétanque.
yes.
Not really wine, but
Not really
Do you
wine.
have some super special shiny balls then for your pétanque?
I have. If you really want to know, I have quite a few triplets of bulls.
Is that important? Do the guys judge you on your balls?
Okay, I can actually tell you. If you're asking honestly, I will tell you.
I am. Yeah.
I'm going to expose myself in terms of expertise.
Oh.
Okay, great.
You ready for this?
About bowls. Okay, go ahead.
Everyone hold up their hand.
Mhm.
Okay.
Everyone hold up their hand.
Which one?
Right.
Did you notice we all have different hand sizes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that we.
You noticed that?
Did you notice? I don't know. It was very quick.
Okay,
Did you
great,
notice?
great, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have to
We
do
all have
slowly.
different hand sizes, so that means we're all gonna need different size bulls, different
Okay.
diameters.
That's like
I
bowling,
didn't
isn't it?
even know there were different diameters.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because but there is a maximum, obviously. 'Cause
That's
I cannot
why-
like.
Right. You can't just.
Yeah,
shot put.
Mine is closest.
Maybe the guys. Maybe it's like a ball contest. You're like mine are this big.
Yeah.
It's just
And the girls have just got these
just the
marbles,
better,
you know?
the best metal craftsman
Right.
of the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got the diameter,
Yeah.
and then of course you have the weight.
Oh,
And
you
the
can
weight
change
varies.
that too.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the weight goes from there's let me just back up a second. There's two types of bulls in pétanque. There's one for recreational use, and there's one for professional use.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
And what's the difference?
The difference is that the recreational uses
Price.
don't need to be price, yes, but the recreational use doesn't need to be all the same weight and or even
Okay.
sort of same size. They're not measured as
You buy
accurate.
them in Decathlon or the supermarket.
You can get them Decathlon. You can get them at Oboot, which is actually just down the street from here.
Okay.
Shout out.
Well,
Shout out to my sponsor.
yeah. He
Where-
removes
where's
his
your-
shirt
yeah,
and he
where's
has
your
like a
sweatshirt?
t-shirt.
Pierre, you owe me
Axel.
20 euros.
Yeah.
No, so basically the recreational bulls are about 650 grams or lighter because it's just easier to carry, blah, blah, blah. The professional bulls that you would actually use are 660 grams to about 800 grams, I think. And then you choose based on your position
Okay.
and
so
how
it's
you want to play.
really like golf. So you just change in order to put, in order to do whatever you want specifically on that play, right? I mean, it's
You-
like the clubs. You change the clubs.
No.
On
The
on
bulls,
golf.
the three of them are all the same weight and size.
Oh.
Adapted to
wait.
you.
Yeah. So
Your-
for example, let's say you want to
Oh.
be a pointer, meaning
But you couldn't you, as a professional,
Yeah.
obviously now, during a tournament,
Mhm.
couldn't you have different? I mean, within the limits of what's allowed, different types. I mean, type of
Weights.
diameters. For example, I mean, I know I would have the better diameter for my hand, but I noticed that to do a lift, whatever,
okay.
I would need like a smaller one. Can I use?
You're saying
Can
can
I-
I have multiple different diameters?
Yes.
No, you can't. You
Okay,
have,
so
they
if
have
you
to be the
choose
same.
one for
That's it.
Yeah.
me,
It's for
that's
life.
the.
It's for life.
Yeah. The only
big
reason you
decision.
might want to have a smaller diameter is to make it harder for your opponent to shoot.
Yeah.
So there's less to hit, right?
Yeah, right.
But generally you want to have the best fit in your hand for the best just feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the weight is sort of up to you, your personal taste.
Okay.
Or if you're like sort of die hard about like the heavier it is, the harder it is to knock away or
Oh, yeah,
blah, blah,
right.
blah, this and that. I don't really believe in that. I don't think most people do, you know? I mean,
I
when you
love how there's
you know what I'm
different
saying?
schools
Yeah.
of thoughts.
you know, there's
in that.
multiple.
Yeah.
As I was
Late
watching
at
the
night.
Jacques Tati film, and
And eating some saucisson. and
eating some saucisson,
He's
and
the Frenchest of all of us.
yeah,
I
right,
think,
right.
Yeah.
no, but it's a super interesting, and I got into it during COVID just because there's not much else to do.
Yeah, right. And was it the only place you met people? So you're like now
Outside of just the people I know,
Yeah.
yeah. But what's weird, or not weird, what's cool about it, and to your point, which is these are people that I only know in French. So they know I don't speak French very well,
Mm.
but we get along, and like
Yeah.
they know my name, and they talk to me as if I understand completely, even though I get like 70%. Especially when they use
70% 's
slang, you
good,
know.
though. 70%
Oh
is
yeah,
good.
right.
When they use slang, I get lost
Mm.
because they say something and I think they said something else, and then you know
That's exhausting, isn't it? Yeah.
it's a little goofy. But what's cool about sports in general, and I don't know if it's a sport or not, I'm not going to get into that. But what's cool about activities is that once you know how to participate in the activity, then you're accepted to the group,
Mm.
and then suddenly you're able to immerse yourself in a way that I don't think I would have in
Yeah,
any other
especially in
way.
a group of French people. I mean, why would they?
And are they from all walks of life?
Yeah, there's
all
it's
ages
I
and
mean the
things? Yeah.
the class issue, it's various, yeah, for sure. People that
good
are
to know.
like,
Yeah, right.
there are people there that you're like,
It's a little bit of sports is like little wars. So obviously it like federates people wherever they come from, and
Yeah.
you're like, you know what? We're a band of brothers or whatever. We all do
Do you
pétanque.
have a special wink or a special hand movement or something?
Yeah,
okay,
to
well,
recognize pétanque players
Pétanqueurs.
like in the street.
Pétanqueurs.
if I saw
Pétanqueurs.
someone on the street,
Yeah, you would like. Oh, you see his hand? He's
Ah.
definitely a pétanque player.
it's usually
He's a midfield player.
honestly, it's usually like, oh, he said stain on his shirt. He definitely plays pétanque. You know, like,
He has a mustard.
yeah, like, oh, dude, that guy loves pétanque, like for sure. Yeah, he like, yeah, you know, hasn't shaved in a while. You're like, that guy plays pétanque for
Well,
sure.
that's every hipster around then, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
But it's funny too because it's it's a big deal in this country. Pétanque.
I mean, in a recreational slash aperitif way.
Right.
Yeah, holiday campsite.
Yes, but I mean it's not the biggest deal though. I mean, I feel the younger generation, I mean, could do that if if it's a good day.
I think young people play molki more though, don't
Yes,
they?
it's
more of a
more
hipster
hipster, yeah, molky.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not that big of a deal though, right? I mean, it's not like
I don't know,
watching
it's a
the Super Bowl.
traditional thing though, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
It is
accessible.
traditional.
It's very accessible.
It's
It is
accessible.
traditional, but let's say that okay. To go back to the Super Bowl, I've seen too much movies where like
Too
in
many.
the family, too many movies where in the
Can
family.
we do that? Are we allowed to do that?
I can't help it. We're speaking English.
Let's go.
But like in the family during the Super Bowl or whatever, or Thanksgiving, you know, they all play football in the yard.
Right.
I feel like this is, I mean, to have seen this in that many movies, I feel like
they have
it's
the
kind
hoop.
of.
Don't they have a hoop? Everyone has a hoop in their yard.
A hoop.
don't
Oh, you mean for the basket?
Yeah.
A basketball
they?
hoop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about just football.
Yeah,
I mean, American football.
Yeah.
I feel like it's way more common than actual families in France that do play pétanque. I mean,
I don't think families in France. They
yeah.
don't
First
have
of all,
gardens,
it's not
do
between
they?
families. It's more between just friends.
But
and,
also, yeah, they don't do family activities in their gardens if they do have one, do they? Apart from barbecues, I don't know.
yeah, just yeah. Do you? I mean, is it true those things in the movies? Do they really play football in
I
between?
think it's interesting you
friends and
ask because I think it depends on where you grew up in the States.
family? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I never threw a football around with my father.
Yeah.
But,
Let's talk about your father.
I didn't either.
okay, yeah. But I had a thing called a Vortex, which was like this little foam Nerf kind of
Oh yeah,
thing.
right.
I used to throw that around with my sister or sometimes with my dad or whatever. But, like, it wasn't what you're thinking. For my family, which is particular my family, not a representation of everyone, we kicked soccer balls around because my sister was like a very high level soccer player.
Okay.
Is she still?
Yeah, well, she's older now and sort of aged out of her college days and stuff. But yeah, she played D1 women's football, women's
yeah.
soccer. Yeah,
Okay.
like you know, the real deal. Like, put me in the shadows. Like, I had to move to France. Like, I had to get away. Everyone's like, "Oh, how's your sister doing, man?" I was like, "Oh, you know."
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Is she? Yeah,
Let's
she's a
Google that.
champion of the world.
Let's Google
She's
your
the
sister.
coach of the
What's her
team.
name?
No, yeah, but but I hear what you're saying. It's funny you say football because I would have thought you would have said baseball.
Oh, right. I mean, even that, right? Because I think sports here. Yeah, there's no sports, I guess.
Football.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sports in between, like casual. There's no casual sports.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't think pétanque does that?
I mean, pétanque is a casual sport, but it's really precise. It's like it's summer. It's kind of
Okay,
the
seasonal.
the end
it
of
summer?
spring,
Yeah.
and it's like between friends, and it's just a pretext to have a lot of rosé and to drink it in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
park.
Depends, because there must be retired people that's like their routine as well, isn't it? That's what I see in my suburb. Mostly older people playing.
Yeah, right. And obviously,
they've got nothing else
all
to
the old
do,
people
you
is
know.
like, okay,
Yeah.
you play dominoes and pétanque.
Well, you can still walk. You do pétanque, and then you move on to other
But-
things when you can't.
Yeah, right. But it's really kind of, I mean, I would say selective, and also it would depend on the region because obviously there would be a lot more in Marseille
Sure.
and obviously in Paris. But other than that, I'm not sure there's a lot
I
of.
don't know.
Not a lot of pétanque in Colmar.
No.
No.
We'll have to
Not
do
a
a
lot of things
survey.
in Colmar.
We'll have to do a survey.
Colmar's nice. Come on. Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Yeah, right. That is weird though. That in France there's no casual sports. I mean, it's not
lot of
whether
people
it is sport that you watch on TV or that you play like on Sunday with your team. But there's not going to be like, oh, let's kick soccer. Let's play around with the ball. Let's do something.
Yeah, that's something, right? Like, even I don't know enough about women's soccer here,
Right.
but like, do girls kick soccer balls around with their brothers and stuff? Is that a thing
But
here?
they're not
Like,
allowed here.
oh, they're not allowed. Oh, okay.
They'll mess up the party dresses.
The dresses. That's right. And you don't want to
You
get
go
yes.
to balls and
They go to ballet classes.
Right.
Girls. Yeah.
No, but like, you know, in Europe, it's not notoriously known for women's soccer like it is in the U.S., right?
Yes,
But they were pretty good, the French women's team.
Yes,
They're good.
of course.
Yeah, they're definitely
But
good.
it's
But
not a common
There
I
thing.
watched
was
them
an
beat,
effort
Korea. I watched
in
them beat
the
Korea.
U.S. to. I mean, it's all about like the void, the void of soccer that was filled with the women. I guess in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the men go to football and baseball and whatever you want, and or hockey even, and it's like soccer. We don't really play that. You know why? You girls could play soccer.
You can have that one.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
Yeah.
There's something
It's
to
like
that.
It's true, whereas the men have totally taken it over
Yes.
in Europe, haven't they? It's their sport.
yes. I mean, it's really like saying there's not a lot of female players in American football, except of course if they're in lingerie or whatever.
Okay, well, all right.
The XFL.
I mean, I kind of disagree almost with everything you're saying because I don't think you realize that women play a ton of sports in the U.S. Like basketball's a big thing, softball's a big thing. Like it's not just like they filled the void of soccer.
Yeah, but
I would argue that
it's softball. You know, it's not baseball. You know what I'm saying? It's like
hard.
there's
Yeah,
like
but that's not-
You have to tweak things so you could go play with this. Go.
nah, but dude,
The patriarchy saying that.
Bro, I could tell you right now, a woman would strike you out big time. Softball, dodgeball, you just be swinging with your
I'm not
European
saying-
arms going.
I'm not saying I'm
you know,
better.
you would
I'm
be.
just saying the patriarchy said.
All I'm saying.
Don't touch the football. Don't touch the baseball.
All I'm saying is the difference between an American man and a European man is how you throw. I've seen so many French guys like throw a baseball like you wouldn't believe, dude. Like it's just like, what are you doing, dude? Like they might as well just do the pétanque toss because it's gonna get more accurate. It's embarrassing. Like you really want to tell who's an American? Just give him a ball.
Yeah, but
tell him to
it's
throw it
it's
to
going to
you.
be the same thing with soccer, right? I mean, it's at one point it's about what you see when you're a child. You know, if you see a lot of that's why
Right.
Female players in France are really good. Also, it's because soccer is the game here. So obviously, I mean, you pick up on things, and if you decide to go into that sport, then you're going to be better than I don't know, an Australian, I guess. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
They really suck at soccer.
I mean,
Not my sport.
none of this is being fact checked. None of this.
Yeah, right.
We're just making this up as we go.
It's a podcast. It's,
No, but it's true. It's like
Let's
pod
talk about-
it's
Let's
bro
talk about something
science.
else.
so good. That's
But
so good.
you're right about what you see when you're growing up. I listened to completely other subject. Good One. Do you know the podcast Good One? Where
No.
it's a girl called London something. She's a British
It's about the joke. No,
Yeah,
not
it's
jokes.
about
Yeah,
jokes,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, right. To analyze one joke.
one particular
yeah,
joke.
okay.
And she thinks she's called London Hughes, and she's a black British comedian who said that when she was growing up in England, all the comedians were white middle-aged men
Yeah.
talking about their two kids and la la la,
Okay.
and there was nothing that she could relate to. So she would watch American sitcoms, and so her dream was to go to the States. And now she's being produced by Kevin Hart, I think. You know,
Okay.
she's rocketed. So there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was that a transition? No.
No. I mean,
But
yeah,
stop talking about
I
sport.
totally understand this because, I mean, you've talked about French movies. I was like raised with American movies, so I do have a lot of American culture. I mean, even my culture as a person is probably. I mean, I do have a lot of American references before I couldn't even think about the French references
Sure.
of things.
Sure.
So you're like.
Because you didn't grow up in France?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Algeria till I was 9.
Okay.
And then in France, but I mean, even in Algeria, as a kid, I was watching like Back to the Future or whatever. So
Little
I'm just,
American kid in Algeria.
That's what I'm talking about.
Coke.
No, but
it was
yeah.
for me. I mean, for me, it was literally like I was in France. I mean, in Algeria, so it was not.
But your narrative is almost more American than perhaps even mine, or I would assume
Definitely
yours.
mine.
my what?
Your narrative, like
Oh,
your
yeah,
tr-
right,
your-
right.
like how you came to France, like the immigrant story is
Oh,
inherently
yeah,
like kind of an
yeah.
American journey.
Perhaps you can recognize yourself in that. Yeah.
And also, our soft power of the U.S. is our culture.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Right.
it's like.
That's what China should start to do. Soft power.
When's the last time you listened to like a Chinese band?
Oh, never.
Or
Although yesterday I was listening to the Red Army Chorus, so it's the Russians, but
Great.
because I love them.
Or like Chinese movie. That's not Wong Kar Wai.
I mean, yeah.
Which
No,
he is from Hong Kong. Thank you.
Yeah. But I do, but that's because I'm a cinephile. But I do watch Chinese movies or whatever, Korean movies, etc. But yeah, I do understand. I mean, you have to. I mean, Americans have won the culture war, right?
Was it a war?
Yeah.
Was
That's you know what? If
wasn't just a painting.
While all the other countries were like, was it a war? Then they lost the war.
What war?
Yeah, by not doing movies that could spread their way of life or whatever.
I would argue that it's a combo of the British as well as the Americans. The Americans might have like done something fancy with like movies and stuff, but it's like the British are the reason that we're talking in English right now. You know what I mean? And like that, I think, was the biggest push for any of that kind of stuff.
I mean, it was a big empire, but France was too. I don't know.
You were influenced by the British culture?
Yeah, because think about it. Like everything that is in the U.S. besides the Native Americans is from somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
And
then that kind of like, you know, I have this theory, not to go back to sports. I know we don't want to talk about it, but I have this theory about soccer. And the reason that soccer maybe isn't as popular in the U.S. as it was is because that was like the old world sport. I'm going to come to this new country. I'm going to do these new things.
Yeah, let's create something.
Exactly.
New. Yeah, right.
3 sports: baseball, basketball, football, right?
Mm.
Let's be good at these, and we can be the best at these.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an American thing. It's like, you know, try to be the best, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's true or not, or how that works.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, let's cut off our ties with the past. Let's just do new things for ourselves, right?
But what I'm saying is, like, I think a lot of American things are essentially English things that have just been taken to a different way.
The names of the cities often
That's part of it, yeah. New, yes.
New.
Oh, yes, of course.
New Mexico, right?
That's just the normal...
Very English.
That's just the normal, I mean, timeline, right? You obviously come from somewhere. So, yes, they obviously come from British Empire.
Right.
Since they had their independence from the British Empire. So, obviously, it's a linear thing. But as a force of impact in the minds of the world, I mean, it's not really like tea or whatever. I mean, in the rich countries, I'm just saying, in the other rich countries, it's like France or Spain. I mean, I guess they do drink tea because of the British, but
if you can
whatever,
call it tea.
you know, but they don't think about like I don't know, a hero should be this or that. They think about this because of the American movies. They don't think about this because of Ken Loach movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Ken Loach.
James Bond.
Ken Loach is great. James Bond is excellent.
That's it.
Ian Fleming, are you kidding me?
Right.
But
Are you kidding me?
Running, what do you call it, franchise? How
Oh,
many
yeah,
films,
James
you know?
Bond?
Something like 30 or 20
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And didn't you have this box set with the Criterion?
Hell of a
collection?
box set.
Do you prefer, or not prefer, but do you think you listen to more English stand-up than you say like American stand-up or other countries? Just as an English person?
Now, no.
Not
I
now.
did. Probably when I was young, I probably wasn't necessarily stand-up, but English comedy. Like,
Okay.
we had a lot of sitcoms and things like that
Yep.
were just out, you know, and obviously I'm very old as well, so I used to watch but very old sitcoms, you know, which are completely politically incorrect now, you know. And then stand-up, I mean, the people that I can really relate to are people like James Acaster, because he'll talk about very specifically British things. Sometimes when I start watching American stand-up and they start going on about Trump or something, or Bush, or, you know,
Sure.
I think, oh God, you know, here we go. Yeah.
Why?
So it's true, it's your culture, isn't it? It's what you can relate to.
And sorry.
No, I was going to say, when James Acaster talks about a Chris Dingle, which is a little candle that you take to church, you know, I was like, yes, that's me.
That's typically British.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Whereas nobody else understands it.
And for you, similar situation, like, are you listening to more French comedy,
More Algerian
English,
comedy.
American, Algerian, perhaps?
American.
Really?
For sure. I mean, I discovered stand-up with Seinfeld and just watched stand-up before there were stand-up here in France. So, again, my culture is like just, I mean, I was watching like the kings of comedy, Steve Harvey,
Yep.
Cedric the Internet, etc.
Absolutely.
So I was watching this. I was still middle school, I think, college stuff.
I think so.
Yeah, right. And so this is my comedy. I mean, I was watching comedy on French TV also, but there was a weird thing that happened in the, I guess, late 90s. They stopped doing sets, comedy sets on TV. So there was like big talk shows or big shows on prime time, and usually they had like a comic that would come and do whatever sketch, whatever character, etc. But then just disappeared. So I guess I just kept on just watching the downloaded specials I had like that.
Yeah.
Because your culture would be completely American, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I do maybe more when I moved here. Started watching British comedy.
So
there's a guy named Stuart something. Stuart Lee. This guy is like.
But he's like the comedian's comedian.
Oh, is that right? Okay, yeah, because like my buddy who's British at my old office, he was like, "Oh, you got to check out this guy. He's sort of anti-comedy, and like he makes fun of the medium and stuff." And I thought like this is pretty excellent. Then there's some comedians that I don't know if they do stand-up, but like I got into watching some of their stuff through this show called something Cats, 9 Cats, 10 Cats.
8 out of 10 Cats.
Yeah, and the host of it, I forget his name.
It's not I can see his face, but I don't know if it is him actually.
He's like kind of, he always wears like a kind of a suit and thing. That guy, I watched his, I'm forgetting his name, but anyway, he does a lot of like one-liners and stuff, and it's like really good. Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr, yeah, okay.
Jimmy Carr, and then some of the comedians that are on that show that.
Oh yeah, so you Richard.
You. Did you watch Mock the Week as well? I quite like. It's very.
It's possible.
British middle class, but
there's. I mean, where by the way, sometimes James Acaster is.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's on that show. Absolutely,
probably
very funny.
James Acaster.
And sometimes it's just they go to improv stuff, and you're like, "This is great.
Yeah,
this is awesome." Why don't we have this?
I know,
in French TV?
So I used to watch that. It was probably during the very first lockdown. I watched Mock the Week, and it was just like stuff. They were just taking the piss out what was going on. They give you a number, and they'd say, "What does this number represent?" And they come up with all these stupid theories. And once they did a thing about Macron, they said Macron made a statement. It went like this.
Like a mime.
Just like, yeah. And they're saying you can't vaccinate French people because they're shrugging all the time.
Oh my
all
god!
All these cliches, but
it's
you're just laughing.
It's so good in a dumb way. Yeah.
That's it. It was stupid.
No,
yeah. I think the British are the only ones that still have the dumb thing. It's dumb. It's just we're laughing because it's dumb.
Yeah.
Let's not get serious about this. Where the Americans are really into that, especially because of Trump. They were like really into like serious stuff. You have to think the right way a little bit, or you have to have some gravitas into whatever you're saying.
You think so?
I think
I think it comes in waves. Same with Bush.
I do think it comes in waves.
It's just whenever a Republican's in office.
But yeah, right. It's
it.
Probably. But
Nixon.
I mean, there's still right now. I mean, Biden. It's been like
more than
4 months.
days, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, because of COVID. So I guess let's wait. But I would love to see again those kind of alt comics that are going to be goofy and just say nonsense and etc. Because I've been missing them.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, there's a comedian. I don't know if he's actually a comedian. It's a show called the Armando Iannucci Show. Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah, the sketch show.
Yeah,
right. I love it.
It came out right around 9/11, so that's why I heard it didn't get famous. Because my buddy showed me. He's like, "Here's the YouTube links." This is unbelievably good.
But he does a lot of stuff in the UK. He's behind a lot.
He's
of
a
stuff.
writer, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I remember what else
this
he's
is
done,
like.
Didn't he do The Thick of It?
I heard he did Veep. I heard he was a writer on Veep. That's what I heard.
Love Veep.
I don't know if that's true. Not fact checked. I don't fact check.
You know what? Let's say it's true.
Where's our Google?
He did Veep. He actually played all the characters and the CGI people.
Look, this is the first time I'm off a computer, so I'm glad it not be, you know. But yeah, man.
Yeah, and in France it's a little bit the same thing, I guess. No one's really goofy. Everybody wants to be the smart one.
Oh yeah.
And the other one wants to be the smarter by going against what's used to be said or whatever.
I think sometimes when you see things when people are doing something funny, they're trying to be funny. Although I do like the show on Teva with all the women.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because they're all individually very funny, and
Yeah.
so then some of their stuff is really funny.
Yeah.
The comedians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Christine Berrou did a really
Yeah.
good thing with campaign posters, but it's a little bit
But
political.
it's like, I
Topical.
think you have to lower the stakes, and I think you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on Teva. It's like nobody was waiting for them or was watching them, so they're like, I mean,
I have no
let's do
idea.
what we think is funny, and since they are funny, it's funny shit.
Hmm.
So that's the thing. And now every time there's a new show with comics, it's like overproduced.
Yeah, they're
it's like
competing
really,
as well.
they're competing, and so they're like, oh, so you're not going to add on his joke, you're just going to go another
Yeah.
way, and then
It's
okay.
individualistic.
Yeah,
now.
right.
I don't know. Yeah.
There's a show I would love to see be remade in this country, and it's called What Would You Do?
Yeah.
And What Would You Do is hosted by a guy named John Quinones,
Mhm.
and they're essentially social situations that are like hidden camera.
I love it.
So, for example, I'll give you some of the scenarios. One is like a veteran can't pay for his groceries. What would you do in the back of the line? You know,
Okay.
do you help? Do you say, hey, get out of the way? Another is like there's a gay couple at a restaurant and the waiter starts saying, you can't eat here. What would you do? And so you see all the other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to see this like done with so many situations in France because
Yeah, but it'd be more like shaming, wouldn't it? It is a bit of the shaming thing.
Well, I'll
isn't
tell
it?
you for sure, no one would help the veteran here in France.
And everybody would ignore the waiters, not their problem. So they do.
Right?
France
No,
would
but
be a
like,
non-event.
The waiters would probably be shouted at, but just because he's late for the coffee, it's not because he's
somebody
being
would say,
homophobic.
"Excuse me,
Right. No, but
Excuse me. Yeah.
no, but there's because you could set up so many interesting situations, and of course the show
It's horrible. Though,
takes
isn't
places in different places in
Yes,
the U.S.
yes. Oh,
to,
yeah,
to
right.
expose different cultural things too, because like
Yeah.
it? It's just
something's different in Texas than it is Maine, right?
You know what? Actually,
It's
I
like
think
Borat,
it could
but-
be. Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
like-
but it's interesting because it's usually heroing the people that I
Yeah.
bet they go through a ton of stuff, but they
Yeah.
usually hero the people that step in, and then they
Yes.
interview. They come out with cameras,
say,
and they're like, "So
yeah.
why did you step in?"
Yeah,
And like
right.
the people are crying, like, "I just couldn't see that injustice happen," or like,
Right.
"No one's
Oh,
gonna
that's
treat
nice.
that guy
It's
like
not-
me."
it's nice.
Positive.
Oh yeah, it's always
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Then sometimes you don't want to be this guy. They go to the guy, his face is blurred, and they're like, "So you didn't step in?" I just didn't think it was right. I didn't think they should be here. And you're like, okay. And they blur. There's no name. You know, like
Yeah, right.
Well, at least they blur it because that.
he didn't sign the NDA. You know, he was like,
Yeah.
nah, or not the NDA.
But I don't think they're
form.
into that much of a introspective look here in France. They don't want to see their
But it could be good.
quirks.
it-
I
could be
I'm
great.
There's
sure.
another show that I would love to see in France.
Yeah.
'Cause we have one in England. It's called Gogglebox.
Goggle box.
So
Already, it's funny,
Elspeth, it's pronounced Google.
and it's pronounced computer, not a box.
okay, British culture here. Listen,
Gogglebox.
Gogglebox is a kind of slang name for television
Okay.
in English, in British
So, yeah.
English, obviously.
Yes.
So
The
you
right
don't know
English.
it?
The right English.
No, because you don't know it.
I don't know.
So basically, they have different profiles of people sitting in front of the television, watching something
Okay.
specifically, and commenting on it.
Mhm.
So
They're
you've got-
commenting.
Yeah. So imagine you've got the Macron speech.
Mhm.
Okay.
Macron saying blah blah blah, and they're sitting there. So we go
yes.
from one house to another. So each household is being.
Oh,
I've
right on.
seen like
seen clips of it,
clips of
haven't
it.
you?
Yeah, during I think it was
the thing about
some
the
guy
nurses.
who was doing a stand-up
Oh yeah.
comedy, and he
And
was,
it was
like,
really politically incorrect.
yeah, he was total shit, and they were like,
They were going, oh
people
come on, you're not going
on
to
their
say
couch,
that.
like saying, just get out of there.
No way.
It's brilliant because it exposes because. In France, often you have things on television, and there's no apart from Télérama saying that wasn't very good,
Yeah,
or that was wonderful.
yeah, you don't get the
You don't
pulse
get
of
the
what
human,
people.
yeah, like and people
yeah.
from different areas as well, because everything is so Parisian centered here.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
you've got like people in the countryside going, "That's a load of shit. Why did that get made?" You know.
That's
Yep.
that's actually nice. Yeah, I mean it's even like sweet to.
Well, it's very useful
as
feedback.
a service to do to
Yeah,
your
exactly.
country.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
But French television doesn't seem to want that feedback, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because if they have that feedback, then
To
they're
review
going
their
to
whole-
change the things. You know, it's like let's say I'm a Parisian producer.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm starting to do this, and we just realize, oh, they actually don't like what I'm producing. So I'm going to be replaced now. So I've just really set myself up to
But you can
lose
also
my
change.
job.
You can,
Yeah.
It's like because if you stay in that microcosm of Parisian and we know what's best for you, the elitism of things, then I'm safe.
Well, it's just the lack of the Protestant work ethic.
I think that's the.
And you can.
But it's a good program, you know. I mean, you can watch on YouTube, have a look, see what you think. But that one about the stand-up comedians was really interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Yeah, I think the feedback thing is super important.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm ignorant of this, and actually I don't know if it's done in the UK, but there's no they don't take a lot of statistics, it seems, in France,
They're not
like a
allowed.
census.
Yeah, they're not
In
allowed.
the
I
same
mean,
way.
for what?
For
I mean,
like
for racial things, it's
Yeah, they're not allowed.
forbidden.
for racial,
example.
for example, that's one. I don't know if you would do religious, but just like,
So that's
Not
forbidden
allowed.
too.
but it's interesting because then it's sort of like we don't know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but then they say there are this so over many million Muslims or something like
Right.
that. How do you know?
Yeah,
How
right.
did
Because,
they
like-
come to that conclusion?
I mean, is that illegal in the UK or do
No,
they,
in the UK it's
you
Oh,
have
no.
you have
and also
racial
you have positive
statistics?
discrimination in the UK, which
Of course,
you don't
yes.
have in France.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, that's
So-
well, is that it?
But
You think
also
so?
having the real statistics, then you know, because people are going, "Oh, too many black
Yeah,
people."
you
No,
know the
there are
racism,
this
the level of
number
racism of
yeah, but you
things.
say there are 10%. If you know the exact number, rather than saying they're everywhere. Look outside. They're
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
No, there are 10%. There's one in every.
Yeah, and
you know.
also you can say like they are 10% and they are just 1% in the
Yeah, exactly.
Congress.
Poitou-Charentes,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
you mean they're not represented, those
Exactly.
people, whatever.
Mm.
So not having statistics is
but
dangerous.
that all came
Yeah.
from the Second World War.
Mm.
It's all about like, oh,
Denunciation.
if you know who is who, then you can round them up, etc. But I
okay,
guess it was
okay.
a trauma. It was big enough of a trauma to forbid the things, but also, like you said, I mean, it's also a problem for actually owning the racial problems in your country.
yeah,
so,
exactly.
But what's interesting is I hear that argument. Once again, not fact checked. I don't know. But didn't a
Let's
lot
dive
of
into it.
Northern
Yeah,
African
that one.
people fight for France during both World Wars?
Yes.
And weren't they sort of granted some sort of not citizenship, but some sort of relationship? Like, I mean, how could you not?
I mean, it was Algeria, for example, was literally a department of France.
right.
So it was like,
But like,
it was
how?
France.
And then like, why would they not want to? I mean, I'm not asking you as the representative of the government, but I'm just
Why?
wondering.
But I shall
Didn't
take this
you?
role.
What's the
and answer.
logic?
Reward them.
No, but it's like, what's the logic in not knowing your population better? You know, in a way that's like, well, we're going to pretend like this doesn't exist.
It's all about this dream of the republic in France. It's like the republic doesn't see colors, doesn't see
But
where
it
you
sees
come
mini
from,
skirts
but
and crop
and
tops.
just
Mm.
yeah, that's right. But it just sees the merit you
citizens,
have
the
in what
citizens.
the citizens
Yeah.
and what the merit you have, but also obviously that's removing the whole concept of just reproducing your social status, etc.
And yet you guys put your faces on your CVs. That's insane to me.
yeah.
That's insane to me.
Oh yeah, because the resumes don't have
Never.
pictures in
No.
the US.
Never.
That's awesome.
What is the point of I say this
It's
to my
profiling.
students. What is the point of a photo on
It's
a
like-
CV? It's the pretty girl, you know. And often, the pretty girls will look very pretty, and it's like,
Yes.
or the good-looking guy, or
But I mean,
But
that
that's-
is the point.
But that's wild, right? Like, because you're basically
French
if,
companies just full of beautiful people.
yeah, but like, I mean, come on, like,
Yeah.
there's people
I
at a
mean-
disadvantage just because like they're black and they're photos of a, like, and
Yeah, of
they're
course.
going to apply, and
Yeah,
it's
but
just crazy
What's
that that's.
the alternative? Do you want ugly people to talk to?
Oh my god.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
but if they're too beautiful, they won't be able to concentrate on their work, and then they'll be flirting the whole time.
I'm just
you
trying to
know?
start a
Oh,
movement. No more photos on the CV.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm trying to start.
Yeah. Although you know what,
I mean,
I
they didn't a law passed to forbid the pictures on the CV?
didn't forbid them, but there is a CV. What do you call it? Without, not recognizable.
Yeah.
Oh, like an anonymous, no
anonymous-
name and stuff.
anonymous-
Ah, that's
yeah,
interesting.
right,
That's
right.
interesting.
Yeah.
But not many people follow that code.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
don't
right,
think
sure.
it's an obligation. But did you know that they're using artificial intelligence now to
To make
root out
CVs.
candidates?
Ah, okay.
Process the
Yeah.
CV.
Yeah. So you imagine.
So it means now if you can like kind of hack the algorithm, you can just rank
well,
better.
the problem was they were using it at Amazon,
Yeah.
and they realized that it was
Bias.
throwing out all the women.
Oh,
because
okay.
because when it looks at they're looking at the profile for a leader, and most of the managers maybe are men, and also they haven't had time off to have kids. So
Yeah, right, right.
in the CV, it's not going to look. There's
right,
not going
right.
to be as many elements.
Yeah,
It gives
because
it points.
the parameters
Yeah.
on the configuration of the AI
The perfect
was
character.
already done by
Yeah.
a man for a man, etc.
Or just it improved itself. But
Yeah,
even on improving
exactly.
itself, it was saying these candidates are better, and they all happen to be men. You know, do you see what I mean?
You
So
just,
they stopped using it.
there's a recurrence on the
Yeah.
bias. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So that's a bit scary.
Yeah,
in a
but I
sense.
mean,
but at
it
least
was-
it's not judging you. See, maybe it's less judgmental than the whole. Oh, you look
Oh
nice.
no, really?
Yeah.
It was
Human-
still less judgmental than.
Well, it could be, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, obviously.
That's what I mean.
it
It's
could,
not going to
yeah.
judge you on. Oh, I don't like that. I can't pronounce that name. I'm not. Gonna
Exactly. Or like even the photo, you can tell someone's sort of class in a way too, based on what they're wearing.
I was doing
and,
this.
Of course.
I mean,
and there's just
I mean,
bias,
a little
inherent
bit.
bias right
to,
there.
Yeah.
To have seen.
you profile the people.
Yeah, exactly.
to
Right.
have
Like,
seen resumes of dental assistants.
mhm.
Also, there's. I mean, you just on how the format, even if you don't see the
Yeah.
name, the thing. I mean the spelling, whatever, everything can already be extracted from this.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, there will be a bias, even in, obviously, if you have the interview. I mean, you come
Yeah, of course.
and there's the interview. So
But at least you
it's
get an
still going to
interview.
be-
But
yeah,
that's
of-
true.
Of course,
yeah,
of course.
exactly. Because
But-
you have
I mean, I
the
don't think
chance
it should be used
to.
right until the end, but because you need to choose the person you're going to get on with. Like
Of course.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But
if you get along,
I
that's
think in France there's, I don't know why I'm seeing this. I see some guy who's just thinking about who will I have to look at for
Yeah.
the rest of the year.
there are creeps
And-
everywhere.
Yeah, creeps. I really see
Surprising,
creeps
isn't
in
it? There
my
are creeps
mind, and
everywhere,
not
yes.
really, because I would say, I don't know, perhaps that's me, but I would say that there's the money-driven thing in the U.S.
Of course.
That's not enough here in France to go against the creepiness. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'd rather have a beautiful lady, but not really competent.
I think
And
that still exists, really.
I mean,
That's the Emily in Paris view of business.
I mean, in France, for people who actually have the power, and I feel like they want to exert that power on people they just want
Perhaps.
because of the looks
But I
or
think
whatever.
maybe we're losing that layer. Hopefully, they're going to retire that layer of society soon.
I mean, you
Like
know
the guy
what?
who-
I'm really not, because there are youngish people who are like 40 and who are in position of power, etc., who are like really buff like this. There's a word for buff.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You say redneck or not?
I mean, not
you could
redneck
say
really,
like
but-
hick, like a hick.
Hmm.
Yeah, but even that's hick and rednecks, like a really country mentality. But here we could say both
Low
to
class?
people. Yeah, but
very
even
snobby.
here we can
We
have
can't say
yeah
that.
Low class.
Low class.
low
Bottom class.
Yeah, but you can have like
Oh, no.
both people here in France who are actually who goes to fancy restaurants, etc. It's like
Oh, just poor
Yeah.
taste.
Trashy.
trashy. Let's say
Yeah.
trashy, but not in their way of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
it's
trashy
like
in their
nouveau
minds, really.
We say nouveau riche.
Nouveau riche.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's say that. Yeah,
It's a
right.
very English term. Nouveau riche.
I like both
Cul-de-sac.
because it's really
Cul-de-sac,
difficult
yes. Cul-de-sac.
Rendezvous.
Garage.
RSVP.
Yes.
Most people don't know what that means. RSVP, they don't speak.
Cul-de-sac, a film by Roman Polanski. Sorry, am I not allowed to name him?
Italian collection again.
Put it the other way around.
In French, actually. Yes, sorry.
That's your latest
With
film.
subtitles or without subtitles?
I saw it a long time ago.
So with.
So,
So
without, just
Dubbed in
pure,
English.
just, I wanted to hear it from the actor's
Okay.
palette.
It's really a film.
Yeah, cul-de-sac.
Did you
I think
ever?
you're
Have you ever like hired someone? You
In
two?
what sense?
Were you? I mean, were you
Now we're talking.
involved in hiring someone in your
Well, I'm doing
in
interviews at the
companies?
moment. Yeah.
In my life.
So for the school, for the
yeah,
engineering
I mean,
school.
obviously, I don't have the last word.
Yeah,
Thank
obviously.
goodness.
He doesn't speak English.
Okay, oh,
He
you're
should
an
die.
engineer. You're an engineer. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
right.
want to make
I-
things.
You're saying have we been in a position of hiring a person
Yes.
for the company?
Yeah, or company or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Did you make a
So-
good decision?
Yeah. How were you in that? Role? Were you creepy?
No. Well, first of all, no.
That's well, it was
Never,
a man.
never. No,
I mean,
I,
there's the
I
lawsuit.
can be
so
I
I
can
cannot-
be unprofessional, but I try not to be. No, it was more like looking at a resume and looking at a portfolio of work and assessing it on that. In my line of work, it's assessing them based on the things they make.
Whatever that is.
Yeah,
It's
right.
based on the things that they make.
Okay.
And
So
what
that's
type of things?
the good hiring. So it's like what's
It's
your
yeah,
book?
like the proof's in the pudding, basically.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I need to see what you can do.
So you work in a bakery.
I work at a pudding factory. We do chocolate. We do vanilla. Dark chocolate's coming out this season. I'm not supposed to
this
say it.
podcast is sponsored by
Dark chocolate.
Blose's pudding. Yeah, right.
Oh man, no, but I have a theory on this, and I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for saying this.
Like we haven't said bullshit enough.
I think that if you have, I don't actually know how to articulate this without getting in trouble. But here's what I
Get
mean.
into trouble.
Here's what I
We
mean to
don't
say.
care.
Here's what I mean to say.
It's a podcast.
I'm all about diversity and diversifying whatever you have. So the different understandings of the world, different people coming in
Yes.
with different perspectives. So I almost think that
However,
no. I almost am
the
super,
Aryan race.
no, absolutely not. Those guys fucked up big time. No, I'm super like sort of positive discrimination in a way, to the point where I think it almost is an incentive for a better output. For example, and I think like if you're going to hire someone who's had it tougher to get to where they were, they're only going to be more battle hardened and a better
Yes.
worker.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
It's basically using the psychological traumas of people to do better.
Resilience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and it's true because it sounds super negative, but I think like if they even got to that position,
Yeah.
Yes.
that makes them the best anyway because
Yeah,
they
right.
they had it better than the lily white guy down the street. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and I think that speaks to something. And I feel like that's controversial to
And
say,
also,
but maybe it's
I
not.
mean,
I don't know.
think it is
Not really. I mean,
controversial,
in the US, it has proven its merit. I think the quotas or whatever, because since, for example, since Reagan and the representativity on movies or etc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you can actually watch movies where some heroes, some protagonists are.
Oh, I see. What you're saying. Yeah, racial representation.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
a racial.
I guess
thing.
you're not just talking about racial
Yeah.
issues. are you?
But I
Just
mean,
in
I do
a
understand
difficult
this
life.
also. I mean, I'm just saying this for arts, but I guess it could be for any jobs because you see, I don't know, like a black doctor and I'm a little black kid. I'm saying, okay, this is possible.
Absolutely.
And
Rashid Arab, no? Is it?
oh yeah,
He
right.
was the-
And that's funny because Rashid Arab was the first TV presenter.
Newsreader, wasn't
new-
he? Yeah. Wasn't he on France 2?
France 2, yeah, right.
Yeah.
News anchor in
And he
France.
was
It was
a
like
lot of
in the
people say that
90s.
they-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He was like a hero for them growing up because
Okay.
he was the only
Yeah, and since then,
Blackish
not
guy that
a
there's
lot
a-
of people, right?
no, there's
Not
only
a lot of.
Rosal Mack, isn't there? But
Yeah,
he's not
right.
actually on the news, like the 9 o'clock
Hmm.
news.
He was just for a little
or the
bit,
8
I
o'clock
think.
news.
It's
Yeah.
like I love French TV because it's like, oh, we've done this in the 90s, so we're good. We had the one presenter who was
Whereas
from Algerian descent, and TF1 was like, oh, we had one black guy, yeah, right. So we good, right?
Whereas in American series, you're always going to have the black guy, the Chinese, there's
right.
always one of each, basically.
Yeah, but by the way, in fiction, this is complete bullshit. Because everybody's like, oh, in France, they're all white, etc. Yeah, but it's kind of like this. I mean, it's like, especially in the 90s or in 2000s, group of friends tend to look like each other,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to have exactly
One
one
of
guy
each, yeah.
from because that's not how the world works, right? And if you see who's hanging out with who, you're like, okay, so you just only have white friends, and usually
Yeah.
it's that, right?
But it's weird because there's this thin line between like it being positive
Yes.
and then it being a trend and being
Forced.
not forced but just monetized.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Monetized.
Like
definitely is.
like
yeah.
Black Panther, for example.
Yeah.
I think that's a great film. Just film, right?
I think it's a
Super
shitty
fun.
film. All right.
Okay, shitty
Go
film,
ahead.
fine.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was
I mean,
cool.
it's a fun movie, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I mean to say is that like that was like also heralded for it being an all black cast and all that stuff. But at a certain point, there was times where I was thinking, are they just like, are the big studios touting this just to be like, we're good
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
people,
definitely.
and you know, black people come spend money on this versus like, hey, this is just a good film, period.
I mean,
You know, because there's that line.
Both
for
at the
Black
same time.
Panther, for example, I'm not going to judge the fact that we're doing movies with black people for black people or whatever,
Okay.
because the story demands that it is a black country in Africa.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, but have you seen the Harley Quinn movie or whatever with an ensemble female cast?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like pushing the empowerment, the girl thing or whatever, and and you could see that they were forcing it.
Okay.
And the movie was shitty, and there's no, I mean, there's no
justification.
justification
Okay.
for this
Okay.
or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so definitely I'm just seeing some guy who's just, some guy, by the way, who's just saying, okay, let's do something for the girls.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a better example. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but Black Panther also, I do find Black Panther kind of a racist movie, because I really I'm seeing, when I'm watching this movie, I really see like what America thinks Africa is more
Okay.
more than whatever black people, and which I mean, I understand that it's cool to have a fun movie and to see black people again, like if you're black in the US on the screen.
Well, I felt the same way with Midnight in Paris. I mean, this is what Woody Allen thinks Europeans are like. It's like, oh,
They
you
love
know.
it. It's
I
like
mean, these
Emily
are
in
different
Paris, it's the
countries,
same
man.
thing.
Yeah, right. No, but even like politically in the movie, I was for the bad guy, but
I know what you mean.
I'm also usually for the bad guys anyway in all the Marvel movies, because I'm like, he's right. It's right.
Got
We
it,
should
yeah.
arm the small countries or whatever you wanted to, whatever.
But it's a bit like in France, I don't know if you know that they have this rule about you have to have 40% of French music on the radio.
Oh wait.
Oh, really?
And you have to have 40% of money that comes from American films channeled back into French films or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, there's something
Oh.
like that.
So this, which is
Okay.
why so many
So it's like
shitty
pro-French.
movies get, yeah,
Yes. It's
because
yeah.
otherwise they lose their culture.
Mm.
French will lose their culture. It'll be drowned in American culture.
Yeah, right.
So what do they do? A lot of radio stations put their 40% of French music on late at night or early in the morning.
Oh,
You know
right.
what I mean?
really?
You
Okay, so it's
grab
like-
it to get, it's like
yeah.
putting an all-woman
Yeah.
film in it.
But
It's like, done that for the
Like,
women.
yeah, check the
Done
box kind of. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if they do that a lot anymore, because I feel like
But they're
a
supposed
lot
to.
of French people are listening to French music, right? They love it. I mean, the French, for example, all the people who are listening to rap music I meet listen to French rap music. They don't listen to
Which is
American-
kind of logical because they can understand it. Because it's about the words,
right,
isn't it?
right.
Yeah, like what's like French rap all about?
This is your favourite subject.
Well, it
isn't
depends. It's like, basically it's like U.S. rap,
This
right?
free healthcare's killing me. Like, I got hurt and got a free appointment.
Listen,
Is that
we-
what it's about?
Like,
Like,
we have problems here.
oh, you
Like,
know,
I gotta
the government
choose my
took care of
pen
me.
and ball.
Like, oh
That'd be
no.
Good French rap, yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah, right.
you know, like my mech, he got shot. Oh wait, he didn't get shot. There's no gun problem here.
Yeah.
Like, what's French rap about? Come on, like what are we talking about?
That's
here?
true that I feel that a lot of French rap, gangster rap, is like a little bit fake.
The guy at Monoprix was rude. Like, what do you?
I love how
Yeah,
this is
it was
your
8:45. I couldn't go in, yo.
this is like a,
What is it?
a
Like, what
paradise
do you-
for you.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me?
But
What
I'm
do you
saying,
do?
like, yes, there are songs about like drugs, deals,
Oh.
or whatever, gangster, etc. But I don't believe in it that much. I mean, it's like I could say okay for 20% of your songs about this, but if it's like 60%, you didn't live that. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
true. It's
Well, can't
not
they just write-
Compton, you know. So it's like no.
Can't they write bad things, just things about women, you know? Be a bit
I
misogynist.
guess, yeah, but that's not cool. And also, like, that's not new in rap, right? I don't. It's just yeah, French rap is kind of a paradox for me.
I mean, I do like some of them who are like really interesting in their lyrics and the political and whatever.
Like Science Supercrew, that's fun music to listen to.
Okay,
You know what I
that's
mean?
already old, right?
Yeah,
No,
that's
but that's
pretty
your
obvious.
best. That's the top. Like,
I
Like,
love it how you come.
that's the top.
Listen,
That's the
I
top.
am not intense. Like,
No.
right, right, guys.
I mean, this is your
This is
Tupac
how you're
Shakur
gonna
group.
improve
Fatal
your French
Bazooka
slang, yeah.
and
You know, Angela. That's a hit. That's a hit. It's a hit. I mean, I can't.
Is
You
there
know
any
what?
rap in
It's
that?
singing. It's a bunch. It's
Singing.
Jurassic
So now
5.
everything's
It's Jurassic
rap
5 going like, yeah, we're doing things in July.
Wait, what about Cézanne là?
Yeah, right.
Like
Yeah.
Nekfeu? Come on. Is
I
Nek
don't
I don't know,
like
I
French
I
rap
mean-
music, so I couldn't.
Have you
I
seen
couldn't even-
the kind of Plus series? What was it called?
Oh, Validé.
Validé. Yeah, you should watch that if you want.
Validé?
To.
Oh,
Real,
yeah.
they have
He's,
rap battles.
So
and
much
things.
into.
But yeah, I just think like, because hip hop and rap, I guess. I just think like these are dealing. I guess it's not fair to say people don't have issues. Everyone has issues and deals with it artistically in their own way. But just
Are
the
you
I
saying,
thing,
forgot
like,
my carte vitale. I had to pay
Yeah,
that
exactly.
extra bit.
It's like you haven't suffered enough. All right, guys.
no, but there's like I don't know. There's like I'm not trying to be rude to anyone's struggles or discredit anyone.
But
But I
let's,
just
let's
think
be a little bit.
But I just think there's something kind of cute about French rap, and also like the rappers that are kind of doing the mumble rapping, that's even funnier to me. It's like
the mumblecore like.
yeah, like the Little Yachty of France. There's probably a few of them, right? Or the Migos of France. I can't name them because I haven't really looked into it that
know them. Yeah.
But it's just kind of funny that like how these things come over here, or like even like Booba, right?
Yes.
This guy lives in the U.S. No one's ever heard of him. You know what I mean? Like no one in the U.S. has heard of him,
Yes, of course.
and he lives in the U.S. And it's like, what are you doing in the U.S., bro? Like, shouldn't you
I
be
think
rapping
it's
in
for
France?
the taxes.
Guns.
For the guns and
He
taxes.
needs to get
Just
shot. He's
because-
trying to
yeah.
get shot.
Gun control in Florida
Because
is
in
not.
his albums, he always has like guns and.
No,
so to take the pictures, he has to.
No, I mean I'm joking.
He
I don't know
just
enough about
walks the
Booba,
streets,
but
waiting for a drive-by so that you can get a bullet.
I
hole
get.
in
But
it,
it's just
you know?
funny because it's like, yeah, it's like, could you imagine being like a rapper from Compton and then moving to Bordeaux? You know,
Yeah, I guess
There's your film.
do you see what I'm
There's
saying
your
here?
film.
You know
It's
what?
kinda
That's also
directed
the
by
problem.
James Blose.
It's all about we live in the Parisian suburbs where there are actual violence, etc. And but I feel like if there were that much violence for the drug deals, we would have more dead people. I don't know that in the song. I mean, you know what?
Sure. And also, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for more violence or more drugs. I don't
You know,
want there to be that.
If you want better art,
Like I'm not.
you have to have
It's
more
gonna be-
violence.
yeah.
I mean, okay.
More
I mean,
pain.
like
More
for
struggle,
I
yes.
totally see you because there wouldn't be a nice cube thing about like today was a good day.
Sure.
You know, I didn't have to use my AK. No one's really. I mean,
Diams.
people are using their AK, but usually they're real gangsters, so they don't go into rap after. They just are
Just
gangsters.
Sure. Yeah.
Pure.
But I guess in the U.S., everybody can use some AK at one point. You know.
Depends on the state. Depends on the permit.
No.
No, it's funny. Like, yeah, it's true. It's like where I'm from, there's no AKs, but you can go
But
to
if you-
Arizona and you
if
can.
you miss that vortex ball or whatever, and then,
But you have guns everywhere, don't you, or not? Well, there's some states that are not allowed to have guns.
So I'll give you an example. So in New York City, if you have a gun, you go to jail, mandatory 2 years. There are no
If
guns
there's
allowed
no
in New York
permit.
City.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
permits for that, unless you're a cop or any of that.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
or-
why like
And that's
Lil
fine.
Wayne went to Rikers because they found a gun on him in New York City.
Who?
Like Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Different people end up, even like sports stars sometimes end up having just a Glock on them and then
Yeah.
boom, they're
DSK.
very serious about it.
I happen to have a Glock on them. Oh, I didn't have it.
I forgot.
It's a
Oh,
fake. It's
you
a
know.
fake.
Yeah, right.
No, but and it's true. Like if you're on a tour bus and you for some reason have guns
Oh yeah, right.
and you pull into New York and you forgot and then you got checked.
So do they have like gun lockers at the entrance of the state?
There's
And you're
yeah,
like-
in New Jersey you can store it. It's very convenient. The white glove service. They thank you. Looking very. They clean it after you get
It's
back.
your Beretta.
No, yeah, man. Gun,
Please don't shoot me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever shot a gun?
No.
No.
Not any, like not a shotgun, rifle, handgun, nothing.
I mean, just paintball, but no
Paintball,
real
okay.
gun.
Not even. No,
Nothing.
I'm Vicar's daughter.
No real gun.
Don't do that.
We almost did that for a bachelor party
Okay.
because there's this thing in Europe where French people or whatever go to like Bulgaria or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, Tiffany
And
that talks
you
about it.
and there's those packages where obviously you have your hotels, your club tickets or whatever, and also there's an excursion where you do a trip.
Some old Kalashnikovs from the war, you know.
Exactly, and they
my
have
God.
like real guns from the
Oh,
the USSR, and you use it, and you even could use like a rocket launcher or whatever.
That's awesome.
You should
That's
do it.
we
It's
almost
almost
did.
worth getting married for, isn't
Just
it?
hilarious. Like Jean-Claude, we got the tank package. Oh, you got the tank package, dude. We're taking it. Yeah, dude. Seriously.
This is so cool. Tank, isn't that the idea? Piazza Venu talks about it. He's talked about it before.
Isn't that?
Heard him
I've
talking about
heard there's this thing. I don't know if it's real, but you could actually use a rocket launcher against a
possible.
cow,
Oh no.
and you actually kill the cow for the.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's the thing.
Not you're saying in Bulgaria or just?
That's the thing.
I mean,
That's what you used to do at weekends.
I'm not sure in Bulgaria, but yeah.
I've heard about that in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
That's awful.
Oh, okay. So it might be Thailand or whatever.
Could be something like that. And
Sorry.
I don't know if it's a rocket launcher, but it's definitely you basically pay and
Yeah, and you can
and I
fuck
think
a
it's
cow.
a terrible thing to do, and I would never do it. But yeah, I've heard of that. It's ugh.
That's really sad.
One thing that's interesting about guns that a lot of people that haven't shot are familiar with
cows.
it
Okay. Yeah.
is the smell,
Oh, yeah.
gunpowder, and all that. So when you go shooting, I'm not like a gun person, but I have a buddy who took me once shotgun shooting. We did clay pigeons, like where they shoot these like orange
Okay.
discs, and
Yes.
you try to fire.
That's very
Okay.
English. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually honestly, it's like kind of fun. Like
Yeah,
it's-
obviously.
I'm not trying to be a gun guy, but it's fun. But what's crazy about it is like when you're shooting, you don't realize how much you smell like gun.
There's always going on about the
So
gunshot
if you
residue.
didn't,
Yeah, exactly.
if
And
you
you're not
weren't there and you came back from it, I would smell weird. I mean, I would
You
smell
would,
your smell.
you would,
like,
you wouldn't smell like it's like a cologne, but like it would be on your because you're covered in the powder,
Yes.
and you're actually supposed to make sure to wash your hands and stuff before you eat because you're going to be eating lead if you have it on your hands and
Okay.
stuff. So that's a thing. Even
Yeah.
actually with fishing sometimes too. Like anytime you're dealing with lead or anything, you don't want that residue on your fingers.
when you're fishing,
Yeah, when you're fishing.
Second
you
hobby.
use lead. What?
Yeah, lead weights. It's called
Oh,
Plum.
the weights. I
Plum.
didn't know. Yeah. I know. I know that. Yeah. Okay. I have.
Paleodus.
I've forgotten about
Plum.
weights for fishing.
No, but it's something
I
to
thought you
consider.
were shooting the
Yeah, just no. I throw in a toaster.
fucking sardine. Just
Wait them all rise. Yeah, it's a new way. It's
Yeah.
in the canal, so you know.
That is why you have to wear gloves when you kill someone because they can do that powder test
Yeah.
on your
Sure.
on your skin.
Also for your fingerprints. It's
Fingerprints.
quite a good idea.
Yes,
as well.
obviously. But even if you like melt the gun, they're still going to see that you used the gun.
Yeah, I mean, luckily
Yeah.
we've watched a lot of American series, so we know how to kill people.
Yes, that's true.
And how
That's
to hide the.
that's another
Yeah, that's
cultural
true, yeah.
export is how to get away.
Yes, thanks to CSI
You still
or
can.
whatever.
You still can get away with murder. And also in France, there aren't too many cameras, street cameras, whereas in England there are a lot.
Oh yeah, in
You
London I heard there's
Okay.
Spray them out.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Here's
yeah.
a here's a hot take.
Here we go.
I think
Hot take.
hot take.
Here we go.
Guys, I think it's easier than you think to get scot free after
Get away
having
with
killed
murder?
someone.
Whoa, really?
I think so.
I
I
hope
feel
your
like it's
girlfriend is
like
listening to
so.
this.
It depends who's the someone, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no.
I mean the level of investigation on French police or whatever. It's like let's say you push someone in of a
Oh,
bridge,
yeah.
you know.
Or in front
It's like
of
you just walk on. And no one
You're
will
saying with
really
the French
know.
police.
I mean, like you said, because
No
there's not
cameras.
a lot of cameras. I mean, if you choose kind of a little bit wiser, not even like being like a super serial killer
Yeah.
or whatever, and even if you're not, again, in Paris where there's going to be, I guess, the most cameras
Yeah,
in
presumably,
the city.
yeah.
Another city, you like let's say you
Well,
grab
countryside.
you grab a shotgun, you kill someone, just drive away. The time that, yeah, I
Mm.
think it's easier than. So
You better clear your Google history, huh?
Well, I
no,
think
don't worry.
I think
I'm
what you're
using
saying
another apartment to do my research on.
what you're saying sort of taps into a little bit of like the police here maybe aren't taken as seriously.
I mean, even let's say even in the U.S. I mean, obviously I know more of the investigation in the U.S. because of the movies
Sure.
than here.
Yes.
But it's like if you kill someone somewhere with a gun and then You try.
Look,
No one
they've
kind
only
of
just worked out who killed little Gregory, haven't they? And that was like
Yeah,
how many years ago?
right.
Well, DNA is helping, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like.
But there was a guy that was killed in the Metro, an Italian journalist. It was a couple of summers. Well, maybe it's.
Oh, if
maybe
it's an
5
Italian journalist, it's probably like the CIA or something.
No, but it was a few summers ago. I don't know
Yeah.
how many, but it was somewhere like La Chapelle,
Okay.
where there's a interconnect. And it was a corridor where nobody saw anything, and the guy was killed, and they never found out.
Oh,
what
you mean
happened.
he was really killed? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
not like pushed on
No,
the
no,
metro.
he was
So he was
murdered. I
really.
can't remember
Okay, so that's
how.
definitely
Wow.
some
But-
government agency somewhere.
There was no camera because it was like a corridor, of the La Chapelle Metro.
Wait,
you know,
yeah, right.
There's so many places where there's anything, especially in the Metro. I would say we could do.
You know what I
dirty
think
stuff.
it starts with?
Mm-hmm.
Getting rid of the minivans. The police minivans, not a good
Dead
look.
giveaway.
And they look like 1950s fast food workers with these like sort of paper hat things, It's like, and I think once we get past that,
Yes.
we get better fitting clothes, especially for the local Marie police people.
Yeah.
We'll take them a little more seriously, and then they'll feel more comfortable to solve these crimes because they're getting a lot of hate and made fun of.
Oh, so you think
and
it's all
once-
about like self-esteem?
It's a
And
self-esteem
We
thing.
cannot investigate properly as long as you're not taking us seriously.
Yeah, because if you're just three guys in a minivan driving around, pulling someone over on a scooter.
Private, don't they? I mean, the problem is that in France, nobody takes any of the the fonctionnaires seriously, like police, teachers,
Teachers,
So
really?
you group teachers with the police. So
Yeah.
you think, because
Because
they're function. You're right. I
Thought
think.
police.
The thought police.
I was very surprised.
Okay, Minority Report. What have you thought here, James?
I was surprised how little respect there is for teachers in France. Not talking about me personally, but generally, when my kids were
No,
young
you're right,
and so
you're
on.
right.
Really?
It's like, they got loads of holidays. People didn't respect them.
Is that
like
right?
they do.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Parents.
I mean,
The parents do.
Isn't it a
Oh, okay.
little bit like this in the US too? I feel like the security of the job just is just
not the
itching
same in the
for
States.
the
You
other
can sack
people,
a
and it's
teacher
just
in the
and they
States.
want to
Ye-
say, come on, you have it too good. So you're like you just went into that field just to relax.
I
you
think
know?
the people.
That's the French attitude.
I think the people that are vilified for like the too good jobs are not the tenured college professors or tenured teachers. I think it's more like the finance people that have like the golden parachutes, or even arguably doctors that like can't be fired because like they're medically certified and they're good to have a I'm a surgeon and I'll never lose my job. Blah
So
blah
you're
blah. Like,
saying,
it's always the high earners that I think are more ridiculed than the teachers because the teachers
where? I mean, you mean in France?
in the U.S.
Oh, in the US.
Yeah, because you're asking about the U.S. right?
Yeah.
No.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Like we
right.
like taking down.
Ridicule.
We like to rally for the underdog. Believe it or not, that's like an American thing, I think. So no one's going to be like, "Fuck the teacher who doesn't get." Sorry, am I not allowed to curse on this?
Yeah. Of
Okay.
course.
I just realized I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done
After
that.
75.
I was just like, yeah. No, but like poo poo on the teacher who.
Bleep it out.
Yeah, you should. That's good.
Yeah.
That because everyone knows in the U.S. teachers. It's funny we don't think about job security in the same way.
Yeah, right.
'Cause now that you
I'm just
say that-
thinking
Maybe
about
teachers
this.
don't have that job security in the States.
But you sort of do, but
It's also like okay, perhaps in the thought process, the teachers might be respected in the U.S., but in fact, they have to have a second job. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
okay.
but here it's like if you're a teacher, you're good. You're just a teacher. You're just going to get paid every month, and you'll have to really like touch a kid to get
Okay,
to be
so
out
it's
of the things.
Yeah.
So I think just knowing that from the public, and public says, "Oh, those teachers they don't do anything, etc." Even though they are working like everyone else, and it's a little bit like that for the police. I think you're right,
Yeah,
Alice,
they're
because it's like
functionaire.
once you get into the police. Like even if you judge a kid, you'll still be
You'll go to
protected
another-
by
we'll
your
just go to a
friends.
different school.
All right.
Put you in another school.
And it's like, oh, you went in there for the job security, but not because you wanted to do this.
But I guess
think.
what you're saying then is it's just the thing for everything, which is the system or the governing body that's the problem, not the individual. Meaning, like, you can't blame the cops for a lot of things. You can't blame the teachers for a lot of things. It's more of like, what are they teaching?
Yeah, but it's
What's
also- yeah,
the
but it's-
program?
yeah.
What's like going on?
Yeah,
you know?
But it's also just not knowing what's the day-to-day job of a teacher is.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
those
They're just
people-
ignorance.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
people
okay.
will say you're slackers, but even though they work actually more
Yeah,
when
they're
they get
sitting in
home
the-
or whatever.
in their coffee break, and those teachers, they do fuck all. You know, the teachers are like trying to control 30
Yeah.
rowdy kids.
Is there a good teacher's lounge in this country?
I have no idea. I mean, I've worked in schools,
Okay.
real schools, but I didn't find much solidarity or particular.
I've never been in a teacher's lounge, but in my mind,
There
this
are
is like
some.
couches, free
No.
snacks, like awesome stuff.
No,
Candy,
absolutely
a lot of
not.
candy.
No.
I don't know.
It's just computers and photocopiers and
Oh,
people
really?
looking bolshy and trying to mark things.
They should have those lounges though.
The teacher's lounge could
Yeah.
be actually
Nap
the
pods.
teacher's lounge in English could be a cool bar in Paris,
Oh yes, yes,
Good
yes.
and
So
it's near the
teachers hang
Sorbonne. Boom, the teacher's lounge.
You have to be a
Student
certain
discount on
age.
Tuesdays. You know.
Oh, no students, come on.
It's just creating a pub right now, live.
Hey, we can go to pubs soon, can't we? Is it 19?
19th May, yeah.
Oh yeah, but does that mean we can go
Outside.
in? It's outside, yeah, not an inside.
Yeah.
Yes,
Go home at
there's
7
something I
o'clock.
don't understand. So the inside of bars and restaurants are
Dirty.
forbidden, but you can go to a cinema or a theater
Yeah, well, don't knock
place
it
or
up.
whatever up to 800 people inside.
Inside.
So basically, like we cannot do stand up in a bar inside of a bar, but we could do stand up in a theater.
Because
Ah,
it's the
okay.
distance,
Okay.
isn't it? Or the...
It's because of this.
Because-
I don't.
And also,
Is
the
it
cinema,
because of
you're
the
all
mask?
facing the same way, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh, really?
and
Is
there's
that
the
the thing?
mask, yeah.
Oh,
So if you
because
do
it's facing-
stand up, I think you have to have your back to the audience,
Yes, of course. Of course.
because then you're all facing the same direction, and then it's fine.
That's how I do stand up anyway.
Yeah,
It's important.
by farting.
Just here.
The real risk is being in a ring and you're in the middle.
Yes.
You know, doing like a Madison Square Garden kind of thing, and
Yes,
everyone's
of
looking at
course.
you and you're
That's not
surrounded.
allowed.
They improve that.
Everything one direction, preferably facing.
That's difficult, I think, because you know in the Panam you have to look at every people
No.
like on the
No,
left and
you
the
don't
right.
just have to have your back to them.
Yeah, right. And it's kind of can be unsettling, and sometimes you just lose the rhythm. And I think you just look in front of you.
Hmm.
The
At
people
Panam.
on the side
Yeah.
kind of expect you not to watch them, so they're like good if you don't.
You
look
see,
at
I
them.
always do my teacher thing where I make sure everybody's listening to me.
Yes, of course.
That's good. That's
I'm
good.
listening. You at the back.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I always tried to make. That's why I used to like the downstairs at Panam, where you could see people.
Yeah.
But it's a very teaching
Should
thing.
we see people? I don't think we
Absolutely.
should see.
Yeah.
I think they should be in the dark. The
I
audience.
don't like that.
You like them to
No,
be in
I-
the dark.
At the yeah.
Really? You I
Yeah,
kind
a
of
little
like.
bit, a little bit of the faces, but not too much.
Okay.
Because if they're in the
Yeah.
dark, you've got a blinding light in your face, generally, haven't you?
Yeah, that's
what I
tricky.
hate.
Yeah.
Oh no, not especially there. There's a lot of places where you're just the only one under the light, but it doesn't mean it has to be a great light for you. But
No, I know what you mean though. Like, you get hit with that. Like for
Yeah.
example, like Comedy Lab.
Yeah.
I like the setup and everything, but it's true. Sometimes the light's
I
quite
think that they just
bright and you can't really see much what's going
and
on.
you're not
Or,
meant to be a
um,
star. That's. But
I found
No,
it out.
but-
Yeah, the hard
on
way.
boat. What's it called? I've forgotten all the names of the
Which one?
comedy venues.
Jardin
Yeah.
Sauvage.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
Oh,
that,
the
but
Jardin
that's got
Sauvage,
the
yeah.
lighting nicely done with the.
yeah, and since
But
they
you can
are
only see
a
the
little bit
front rows a little bit.
Mm.
farther
okay, yeah.
away, so it's like okay, they're still in the dark. Yeah, it's good to have them in the dark because sometimes there are laughs that are shameful
Mm.
for people, and in the dark they will laugh
Easier?
more
More
easily.
easily.
I try to
And,
get the DJ to laugh at the Jardin Sauvage because if I get him laughing, I know it's okay.
yeah.
Or the person working the bar because
Yeah.
usually
Which
they're
is
not paying
very
attention. You
difficult
know, like
because he doesn't speak English, but yeah,
no, but like even if it's like I don't know, slapstick, I'll do it. Whatever.
Playing to him.
Yeah.
Basically.
the challenges. Yeah, are you excited? Are you going to be the first ones on any comedy shows if they're coming back like in
What
June?
is a comedy show?
What is
I would love to get back right into it. Absolutely.
okay?
I've been not writing a lot, but I've had a lot of things I've been wanting to practice or try some new things on different
Okay.
takes on things for sure.
I'm not. I feel like we'll see. You know,
Hmm.
I can't remember. I think I did stand up last summer. Yeah, maybe September, and
Wow.
then stopped.
Last time I saw you guys was at the roast of Sam.
What was that? Oh, Sam's
okay.
roast.
That was in August.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
gosh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You see, a
then
lot
we
of the
played a
English-
little more through September.
English things
but
have died a little bit as well, haven't they? Because we've lost Comedy Lab probably.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's on pause, but I remember
the-
there was the
Comedy Croissant, the guy died. So I don't know if
open
really?
air.
The guy died. Okay.
Well, he was very young.
Yeah, the owner. That's very
Okay.
unfortunate.
So who knows if that.
But
yeah.
open air was happening in September a bit, and that was the last show I played was on the
Yeah,
La
that was
Mazette.
good, wasn't it? But that
Oh,
was
yeah.
never permanent as a.
Yeah, that
venue.
was sort of a in
So
between.
what are we
thing.
going to have left? You know, what
yeah,
are the
but
shreds?
the
Pick up
bars, I
pieces
think
of-
we're just going to see after September. I think because
It seems that's when it's going to
yeah.
come back, right?
But I don't even know what will be the proper ways, even at the Panam or the Barbès or whatever. I don't
Well,
even
just
know
be
how
people wearing
they.
I guess it would
can
just
do
be
that.
like before. People wearing masks and maybe less people.
Yeah.
in
Are
the
you guys
audience.
writing at all, doing anything like that, or
For stand up, not really.
okay?
But I've been asked to do clandestine
Yes,
stand
it's
up
true, isn't it?
later. By the
Yep.
way, I should.
We'll bleep
start
this, don't
What
worry.
time is it?
at 4:30.
Oh, okay.
But it's in the 15th, so I guess I'm going to take an hour to go there. But
Or a solid 35 minutes, but okay.
I think I have
Oh
to
la la.
take the plane
Yes,
to go to the 15th.
Plus, there's a manif, huh?
I have my Air France tickets.
Yeah, dude, unbelievable.
But since I had that on my schedule, so now everything went up in my head. So I should say this. So now I've written some things in my notes.
Yep.
And I'll have to structure them just I guess till a few minutes before I'm ready. But I kind of had made my peace of not doing stand up for the whole year, so my brain was not on the stand up thing.
Yeah,
If I had like some funny ideas, I would write them, but my brain were directly into like videos or fiction things that I was writing, but not stand up.
You have a joke that I really like and really hate at the same time. Can I?
Which one?
I hate it because it hurts me from where I'm from. You have basically the line is can I talk about it?
Go ahead.
It's better. It's dodging knowledge better than bullets.
Okay.
And I think that's so good. But I'm like, it's so good, but I feel so roasted. And it's anyway, I never got to tell you that personally, but I think it's a great joke,
Thank you
dude.
so much. I guess all my best jokes are the ones that I'm kind of improvising that stays on my set. So that's a little bit frustrating because it means that when I'm just scrapping my brain to be funny, I cannot be as funny as when
That's super frustrating, isn't it?
So that's.
So do you think if you've written new stuff though, I mean, you could just rehash old stuff, couldn't you?
No, I
In
can't.
theory,
I
no.
mean, it's like it would be totally weird for me to go on stage and pretend the whole last year was like normal. It's weird.
But
It's
then
just
do you want to hear people's COVID sets? Like in last
Right.
summer we did COVID sets and that was okay.
Right.
But now I feel like it's like
So what I'll be doing right now, I'm just going to go into my angle that I already had in French. Because I'm performing in French, so yeah. On the conspiracy things, on the vax things, etc., etc. So that's kind of pertinent to still explore that subject. So I have obviously new things that are about this, and I'm thinking about like probably putting this on my hour, so it can be irrelevant. But also I have the other things that I had. So
That's cool.
It's good. So yeah, I'm thinking okay, the conspiracy angle.
yeah. But which is
So
all the
I
time,
have
isn't it?
like
Yeah.
some things to say about this. I love to roast those people, so I'm good. And I feel I'm not going to be like, what a year, right? Just, I know my apartment. Yeah, right. My apartment is so clean, right?
But I think like your thing about the wine and so on, you could go down to really, really, really fine details, couldn't you?
Oh,
about
yeah.
being bored shitless, basically, or you know,
Yes,
how much you have
Yeah.
searched your inner self, you know.
Could sleep, on the absurd questions that you ask, and just do a little callback on the COVID thing. And
I also think there's a line too, which is like people have really said this is like the worst time ever, but it's like,
Again, it's not Compton.
no, it's like Paris has been through way worse times in its history, you know.
Yeah, but we didn't live through it though.
But this is like the lines about the grandfathers, isn't it? Some people make jokes about my grandfather. So you feel like you're suffering. You're suffering. You didn't look.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the same idea, sort of thing.
But I think the COVID stuff, like, it's going to be interesting to see how people recognize it or don't, you know, in the comedy stuff.
Well, we kind of had that look into it after the first lockdown, so in the summer of 2020.
Right.
So when we all got back, so there were people. Well, there were people on the stand-up plateaus who were like, in French especially, who were just like doing the old bits.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I was in
the
Canada
blimey.
last month. No, you were not. You were not, guy. But
That's true, like not recognizing.
We had the very first comedy. What was it called? The boat one. The open mic.
Open air?
No.
Jardin Sauvage.
Yeah, but what's the
the
plateau.
Wild open mic.
Wild open mic? That's it. The very first wild open mic after the
Wait.
first lockdown.
Okay.
And everybody came along, and it's kind of like survivors. Oh, you survived.
Yeah.
You're still here.
That's
true.
yes.
You know, especially
No one knew
in
how to
the-
interact.
In the English language
Right.
community, some people just went home or went back to
Yeah.
their countries,
That's
or,
true.
you know, or,
That's true.
or whatever. And so everybody just got up on stage and just basically talked about it. It was like a therapy session.
Yes.
But it was great. And
Yeah,
it
it
was,
was.
some things came out that were funny, and but it was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
This
But
is
not
what
necessarily as comedy.
an open mic should be, by the way.
Exactly.
This is like
totally.
talk freely, and
then
some
see-
things are
yeah.
going to be funny. Yeah,
And
right.
You're going to find an aspect, and that was a really nice session, I thought.
Yeah.
But that you can do that at an open mic. You can't do that at...
Well, I don't know if we have like more traumas lined up. Perhaps we could be better.
Yeah, man. No, it's
Uh,
a tricky one.
Yeah. Well, we've done an hour and 45 minutes.
oh my goodness.
Would it be okay if I did a small promotion?
Yes, of course.
That's
for
all
the Pétanque boats. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely.
No, so as I said, I've been writing, and
Oh, you have a book?
He was leading into something.
Yeah.
I've been writing, and this is something that it's still sort of in the manuscript phase, but it's this new book. I don't know if we can get a shot of this. It's called Arezki, The Man Behind the Microphone. This is the first biography by myself, James Blose. I don't know if we can get a shot.
So,
Camera
yeah,
two.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Yes.
So this is, it's still in manuscript form. I'm still working on it, still doing some research.
Yes.
But I thought I'd bring you just an advanced copy.
Thank you so
And-
much.
Sign it.
We've worked a lot, so you
Yeah, I
came
mean-
a lot of afternoons here listening to my life.
I mean, you can even take a look at the back cover if you want to read
Okay,
that.
so Arezki Chambon in... I
Just,
love how it's general. Arezki Chougar, born in the 1980s Algeria and destined for greatness, came to France to pursue a new life. From his first kiss at a bar mitzvah to his studies in Toulouse, learn why the man's true calling was being behind the mic and not behind a splash shield.
Right.
Great. Okay, so this is a
Deep.
quote of myself now. Wow, this biography's accuracy. It's as if the author was present from my childhood to now. I couldn't have retold my life story better.
Thank you for saying that, by the
Yeah.
way. Thank you.
You're
I mean,
welcome.
it's,
So
yeah.
about the
Amazing.
author, though,
Oh.
you might be interested to know James Blose is currently speaking about this book with Arezki and Elspeth on Arezki's podcast.
Yes,
Oh my
actually, I
goodness.
am.
This is,
Visionary, yeah.
this is great. So
So, yeah.
Not,
So
doesn't
basically
look
you're going
very,
to-
very long, very thick. Oh, has it got big words?
Well, I'm still working on it. I mean,
this is
it's
one word per page.
yeah, it's
How much
it's
for life, Arezki? Come on. Mine
but
would
you
be
know,
double the size.
No, where you go? I'm young.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But you know,
Nice.
so that's for you to keep. I know.
Thank you
if,
so much.
You know,
Thank you very
but,
much.
it'll be out soon, and we're excited
Oh my
to
God.
have that.
I'm just going
Rescue
to
the man behind the microphone
Yes. Thank you
by
so
myself,
much.
James Blose. Thank you.
This is the best bit we had on this podcast ever.
wow.
Wait, I'm just going to say. So thank you, James. Thank you, Elspeth.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Obviously, I'm going to put your Instagrams on. Your Instagram, of course, because you actually put some things on it.
Now and again.
But James, when are you going to be present on social media?
So I post mainly on the stories.
Yeah.
That's my kind
I
of thing.
look at
Oh.
James's stories. They're fascinating.
Yeah, more of a
Either
story guy.
Fishing or pétanque.
Yeah, because that's all I've been doing.
Right. You know what? I actually saw a few stories of yours. Like you have chefs. You have friends who are chefs. Right?
I do.
Isn't that, oh, is that
Some.
You? Yeah.
Yeah, some.
Is that you?
No,
I mean,
somebody else does
some.
that.
Some people.
Some people.
Are they in trouble? Do I need
A lot of
to?
people. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're in trouble because you're
Didn't
not
bring-
inviting us
bring
in
lunch.
those clandestine restaurants again.
Ah, yes.
So we'll have to do that one day. So thank you again, and subscribe to those people's Instagrams. And bisous à tous.
Bisous.
Bisous.
Thank you guys. That's awesome.
I've actually got a thing about the maybe.
So what's the real book?
What is it?
I love it. It's
Ooh la la!
Oh,
I didn't know that was a book. I mean, it's.
Can I really give this?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you mean the film comes from the book?
I think
This
so.
is really like you are in a lockdown, right?
That's the level of boredom.
Sorry, while he was perfecting his balance to see if the wine is heavier. You were like
There are things that I've done that some people will know about and some people
I love it.
won't know about, but that's one that I like to share.
If you were going to write his biography, then
Yes.
what would you write? Oh.
It's